This is part 4. It's actually part 4. But on the last video I said it was part 1, but it's actually part 4. But that's my 21-inch Dayton Audio Vortex 21-inch speaker. And I had to put the camera way back, or the cell phone, to fit the image, so I could fit the whole speaker in the image, when I'm filming. And that's a 21-inch speaker. Like I said in the last video, is a 2,000 watt. And the speaker goes down about, I think the spec said it goes down to 19 hertz, but with the cabinet it goes down lower. And it's very super heavy duty. And the speaker weighs nearly 100 pounds. And the way I fastened that speaker, I had to put it on its back and I had to use those plastic it holds like wires together. If you got a bundle of wires, I'm not sure if they call it string ties or what they're called, but I had to use 2 heavy duty ones. You put it around the holes of the speaker where the bolts go through, and I had to lift the speaker into the cabinet, laying the cabinet flat down on its back. And then what I had to do, the top and bottom, I had to use screws, but the 4 corners on each side of the speaker I used carriage bolts because the speaker is so heavy. And the cone travel on this speaker is slightly under 2 inches. That's counting forward and backward at full volume. But this speaker is so loud that it actually rumbles everything in the bedroom. And I'm running over 100 feet of wire from the QSC RMX 2450A power amp in bridge mode. But you don't want to go any lighter than 12 gauge wire. 12 gauge or heavier is recommended. And then the grills that you see on the speaker, it's funny how they fit perfectly. I didn't do no measuring. It just happened to be the right size. And that grill you see there is from a display cabinet. And I got those for free at the local music store. They were throwing some stuff out, so I picked it up. And then the bottom piece where the port is, that's from a small rack. and you can actually see part of the wire on the bottom of the speaker. And like I said, the speaker magnet is about 4 inches thick by 11 inches across. It's a dual spider. So it keeps the voice coil in line when it's doing that massive excursion back and forth with the speaker. The voice coil is over 5 inches. They make 2 different versions of this speaker. One is a Pro driver. It is a couple dB louder than the home theater version. It's the same speaker basically, but they go down just as low. But the one I picked is the PA driver because it goes louder, and that's what I wanted. Now I'm going to do a close-up of the cabinet. So I'm taking off the camera. Okay, that's okay. Now that's a close-up of the 21-inch Dayton audio subwoofer speaker, and the dust cap on that, actually, it looks like it's about an 8-inch. It's got an 8-inch dust cap, and I'm just doing a close-up best I can so you can see the speaker. It's a triduple M accordion type surround, and the way I bolted this speaker in, I had to use 1/4 inch bolts, carriage bolts, with washers in front and back, and then the nuts I use, they had Teflon so they can't come undone. And you can see I recessed the board. You might lose a little bit of cabinet by doing that, not much, but I did that so I could have the speaker, because I didn't know for sure I was going to put a grill on it, but I did. I still have to put more leg bolts in the back, screws, because you're talking about a lot of vibration in this cabinet. Now I'm going to get a light to aim it inside the port. So that's the inside the port. There's no tube, it's just a hole. But it really thumps out the bass. And the dimensions of the cabinet, I might have said in the previous video of the speaker, it's 25 inches, but I usually round it off about 25, 26 inches. And then the cabinet is just as deep as square. And it's really hefty. And the casters, you had to use heavy duty casters, and I had to use leg bolts on that too, big ones, to because it takes 2-3 people to lift this cabinet. It must at least weigh close to 200 pounds. And the speaker wire is 10 gauge. Had to order it on Amazon. But I still have to find some heavy leg bolts to the back, because I didn't have enough screws to fasten the whole back on. So I'm going to have to buy some. Now here's the side of the cabinet. Okay, I gotta get back here. So that's about, if it's 2 feet deep. And then what I was talking about, see if I get the camera over here, the phone, I mean. Can't see it that well, but I had to use leg, carriage bolts, or the screws, 1/4 inch. And then of course I put a speaker plate with speak-on connectors. Can't really see it there, but if I get the light, I can aim it. Okay, I got the light here. Okay, let's see. Now, aim it. Now you can see better. See if I can find the screw. There's one of the hefty screws I had to use. Then down below, I got it. A 40 amp. If I can, there it is. Of course, the connector's not a 40 amp. The speak-on that's plugged into it. But the connectors on the plate are 40 amp. I mean, if you're running that much power, you better have connectors and heavy speaker wire, because I'm running 2400 watts on the QSC RMS 4558 power amp bridge. So this is my other video of this speaker, how the front looks and all that. Buy from Starlight G Home Theater. Bye.